So Kristen, this had to be an incredibly challenging role in terms of kind of the emotional journey. And I did wonder whether, as a person that's experienced a lot of observation in your life, whether you kind of connected with that when you thought about Jean?
I've obviously only sort of remotely tasted that sort of type of, what you would call scrutiny in such a sort of superficial sense comparatively. Being somebody who's not the first person to jump on a stage, but yet is very desirous of bearing something. Jean was just addicted to kind of revealing herself, and she was so available. If you watch any of her work, she protrudes energetically and has something to say, albeit ambiguous at times. There's just something that she needs to get out. And so with this, to have that platform that allows you to get as close to what you love as you possibly can, and become close to other people and bridge gaps, and just sort of to have that turn against you is the most violent and a kind of excruciating thing. So I can't say that I could possibly understand what it might feel like to have your life stripped from you in a certain way that was from her. But yeah, of course, I definitely understand wanting to be looked at, yet wanting to kind of control how it filters out, and having no real ability to do that.
This does feel very much like a film that could be happening in the present day. There's media control, there's surveillance. What did you kind of think about in terms of drawing parallels with our current state of affairs?
It's been interesting, even over the course of making the movie, and even over the course of the movie coming out in the world, how many things keep becoming urgent, even without giving too much of the movie away. There's an idea in the young FBI agent, played by Jack O'Connell, kind of starting to feel that what he's involved with, the dirty war that he's involved with, is something that he can't believe in anymore, and choosing to kind of speak that truth, much as we read about every day at the moment with the idea of what the whistleblower means in the United States. But it really felt like 1968, 69 was speaking to 2019, and at one point, Jean says this country is at war with itself, and I think there's a similar feeling of a kind of extreme turbulence. But in the movie, I think we see in a kind of DNA form the mass surveillance culture we now live in and that we take for granted. And in the movie, you see Jack's character and some of the other FBI agents involved in the COINTELPRO program breaking into houses, laying surveillance mics, and the kind of analog activity of surveillance. We now carry we're now so entirely complicit in that surveillance that we carry the cameras and the microphones around in our pockets. And the film shows in a very personal and quite harrowing way what happens when that surveillance machinery of the state is turned against someone and turned for their politics, and for wanting to kind of make a change in society. And the film also shows a kind of weaponization of lies in that political battle. And I think this is something that we're entirely familiar with and experiencing at a high intensity level at every single moment of 2019. And we see this in a very intimate form, in a kind of in the DNA of it in the film. And I didn't want to make a nostalgic biopic simply looking back, or just simply kind of nostalgically celebrating the period. It wants to feel like a kind of urgent contemporary story, beautifully set and shot in that, and authentic to that period, and authentic to Jean's life, but with the urgency of a contemporary story.